All right, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon to everyone here at the Torch Center, at the Talmud Lunch and Learn. Good afternoon to all of our friends online. Today, this weekend, is an international Shabbat of awareness of purity of speech, of holiness of speech, of being careful with Lashon Hara, Shmirat HaLashon, careful with the words that we use and how we talk about other people. So we know there's many important things that are critical to understanding how valuable and how precious our words are. As we heard this week here at the Torch Center, someone mentioned about how one word of encouragement can change someone's life. But I'd like to share with you, in my opinion, there is a value system, right? There's a value system that whenever you meet a person, so let's say you meet your friend, you meet a new person, your friend introduces you to someone. How much human value does that person have to you? How many human credits do you give them? Well, if it's a really nice person, it's a really, just an ordinary person, someone tells you, come meet my friend, they have 1,000 human value points, let's put it as, okay? You meet them, and they're very nice. You see, they talk with a respectful mannerisms, and you can add another 50 points, and someone comes over to you and says, this person's a really great person. Really, really great. They'll add even more points to it. Now this person can move up to 1,100 human points, human value credits, and it can go up to 1,200. You know the person really, really well. You've had positive experiences with them. It can go up even higher. Now what happens if someone introduces you to someone, and before they say anything, before you're able to meet them, they say, watch your pockets, all right? Right, this guy's a shyster. This guy's, right? What's going to happen? They went from the ordinary 1,000-point credit all the way down to 900, maybe to 800. And you meet them, and you see they seem a little bit sleazy, maybe, right? It can go even lower. What someone says to you about another person has an immediate impact of how much you will value that person. It's very difficult for you to change your mind after someone already gave you a stamp about this person, a stamp of value about this person. It's very hard to turn it around. So someone you know, someone you love, someone you care about, a parent, a child, a spouse, a sibling, a relative, they have a high standard. Why? Because you're associated with that value as well, because it's your child, it's your parent, it's your sibling. If you respect yourself, you'll respect them as well because they're your family. And someone speaks negatively about them, you come to their defense. But when it's just a random stranger, I have no reason to stand at their defense. It's just a random person. And we can destroy human beings because we accept what people say. They have no reason to lie. You're about to do a business deal. You ask someone as a reference, and they say, and it's because they're competitors or some other reason, right? You have to be careful with who you ask references. So they say a negative report. This person can lose their livelihood, they can lose their job, they can lose, right? And it could all be false. And even after it's proven to be false, well, with this smoke, there's fire, I don't know. Maybe that's Lashon Hara. Lashon Hara is about saying the truth about someone else. That's negative. Motzi Shemra is about saying something which is false about someone. Something which is not true. But it taints your view of them. It taints the way, the perspective, the respect that you'll have to them. We have to be so careful about the words that we use. Now, I'll tell you why it's very important to discuss this specific topic today. Because today we're in a culture of not only using our verbal words, but rather we're using our written words. We're on chats, we're on Facebook, we're on WhatsApp, we're on all these different group forums, and you can write something as a joke even, and it can be taken by the recipient of your message as a very serious thing. You go to a restaurant, you take a picture of your food, and you write, awful food. You know what you just did to that restaurant? Bad service. Could be you had a bad experience. But does that have to be broadcast in a Lashon Hara format for the entire world? If someone calls you and asks you, you can say, listen, there's a way to say it that it doesn't have to be negative. You can just say, listen, we had a negative experience, but other people have said great things about them. Even then you have to be careful. We have to be so careful because ha'chaim v'hamavet tluya balashon. Life and death are in the hands of the tongue. Life and death are decided by the tongue. So what we're trying to bring about an awareness to the words that we say about other people. Because you can destroy someone's life, you can destroy someone's reputation. And many times they're like, I'm positive, I'm certain, I know, I saw it with my own eyes. Yeah, but we don't know all the facts. We don't know all the details. It might be 100% true what you saw, but you don't know the backstory. You don't know why it's being done. So the general principle is not to speak negatively about other people. Don't say negative about other people. But the best thing is not to speak, period, about other people. Not to talk about other people. Why do we need to be busy talking about other people? We can sit in the coffee shop and be talking about this one, and that one. Did you hear about them? Oh, you should hear about this. Why are we talking about other people?
It's our culture.
Well, it's a culture that the Chavetz Chaim warned us about, and the Torah warns us about. We have to be so careful about the words that we use. There are 3 protectors to our mouth, to the words that we use. Our sages point out that the tongue is the only part of the body that needs to be risen, so to speak, in order to speak. And then you have to unlock your teeth and unlock your lips. Your ears, you hear. There's a noise, you hear it. You don't have to say, oh, 1 second, let me turn on my ears and now start listening. No, everything is ready to go. Your eyes see. Right? They're ready to go. Your mouth, you have to raise your tongue, open your teeth, open your lips. Perfect. These are 3 protectors. Because the words that we use are so powerful and could be so damaging, and, by the way, can be so incredibly building and constructive in someone else's life. The same words that we use to hurt someone, we can use to encourage. The same words that can damage someone can build someone. And just because it's in social media doesn't make it permitted. And just because it's in the news doesn't make it permitted. And just because it's going viral doesn't mean it's permitted. If it's negative about another person, it's prohibited, even if it's true. And if it's false, even more so. We must bring an awareness to our positive speech. And I urge all of our friends out there, take a moment and introspect. Think about the conversations that you have on a daily basis. Is there a way for us to proactively change the way we speak about other people? I personally have accepted on myself to not. There's a certain group of people. There's a certain type of people. You may not like them. You may not think like them. You may not act like them. So we're callous. It's easy for us to speak about other groups, other types, other people. I accept it on myself to not speak about them, period. Not positive, not negative. I don't talk. No need to talk. No need to say. They may not have the same beliefs that you have. They may not. You know what? If it brings about negative speech, I don't want to talk about them. And when people try to bait me, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to say anything. It's for me. It's so that I can become a better person and limit the amount of negative speech I verbalize. And it changes the way you think as well. Because the words that you use affect your attitudes. If you talk negatively, you think negatively. You talk positively, you start thinking positively. And it's even if someone hurt you. It's even if someone can be the bigger person. We don't need to talk negatively about other people. We don't grow by knocking other people. On the contrary, when we avoid talking negatively about other people, that's when we grow. That's when we become bigger. That's when we're elevated. We don't need to say anything. We're living in a culture. You can't even look at a newspaper. The front cover. And most of it, by the way, is not even true, so it's not even Lashon Hara. It's Motzi Shemra. Most of it isn't true. There might be one factor that is true. Everything else isn't. You look today, you don't even know if to trust the FBI, if you don't know if to trust the CIA, you don't know if to trust the New York Times, or the New York Post, or the Daily News, or the Wall Street Journal, or the Newsweek. You don't know who to trust, who not to trust. But for us to become the purveyors of negative news about other people, that's the trap we're falling into. Is today, everybody is a producer of news. You can also be a producer of news. You have Facebook, you have Twitter, you have Instagram. You can take a picture, and now you become the newscaster. You become the producer of news. And that's what we have to be so careful of. We have to be careful not to be transmitting and or accepting negative information about other people. There's no need for it. It only makes the world a more corrupt place. A more damaging environment. People love positive. People grow from positive. And that's what we need to do. We need to constantly immerse ourselves in a world of positivity, not negativity. So, my friends, let's do something positive in talking positively and or not speaking about other people. Thank you so much. Have an amazing Shabbos. And you're all welcome to join us right here at the Torch Center every single Friday at 12 o'clock. Lunch is served by Ed Steiner. So thank you, my friends. Have a wonderful Shabbos.